come through you. They need to bring the process through you because you are the elected representative. It is disjointed. It turns it on its head when the public believes they are representing someone. You are representing everybody. That's how it works. They elected you to be the representative form of government, and that's how it should work.
But isn't it, I mean, I personally, I don't like how Nashville does it. I just personally, because when you talk about they are speaking on ordinances and resolutions, well, I mean, most people, I think, that would come to the council, let's say about pensions. I mean, everybody, the news is broadcasted everywhere. We're going to deal with the pension issue, or we're dealing with the budget, and here the budget comes, and people know about that, and they come to hear, and some people may come to speak, but some people, they also come to speak on things that perhaps we don't even know anything about within our community, and they bring something to our attention. I just don't, I mean...
No, I hear you.
I see you're just giving us...
I'm giving you all the options out there and how people handle it. But let me speak to what you just said. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, I would tell you, we had in the public comment section, we had some lady or gentleman come up and talk about how when public works comes and picks up this trash, they spread that crap all over the place. I mean, you wouldn't even know anything about that. Now, technically, the way that should work is if people knew that they need to contact you or somebody, you can get it done without them even having to come down here, okay? So, I mean, we're just not efficient in how we do it. We're not effective in how we do it, because I know if he told you about it, you would handle it, right?
Right.
So, I mean, but I hear your point that a lot of times we hear things that we ordinarily wouldn't hear if we cut off.
Right, and I'm sure, like you say, New York City doesn't allow, people to speak. That's New York, but in Los Angeles maybe. But I mean, you have smaller metropolitan cities that do allow. Personally, I love hearing people what they have to say. Sometimes it's kind of nutty, I mean, but these are the people that, I mean, they come down here, they take time out of their day, sit here through the whole from A to Z just to say what they want to say, and they feel like government is listening to them.
And I'm good with that. But let me point out the flip side. We do have a process where people abuse.
Of course.
Okay. So you got to have a balance somewhere where, I mean, this thing where y'all are limited to 5 minutes. People were getting charged for 20 minutes.
Or somebody would give them their time.
I mean, so, and that's what I keep saying.
Right.
It's like, who is the representative of whom? I mean, it's like, are they representing people or are you representing people? I mean, this whole thing, people want to talk, let them talk. But don't be delegating to other people to talk for you. I mean, I just don't see the merit in that. I mean, if they feel strongly about it, hell, let them come in here and do it. Yeah, but some people
feel as if they are not as articulate, and they don't want to come before this pristine and esteemed body. That's what they think in their mind. They just don't know really.
But you know what? I bet you, I'll be willing to bet you that those same people can pick up the phone and say, hey, Councilwoman, hey, I don't know how I can talk down there, but I'm having a problem. Can you help me out? I know you gonna help them.
Of course I will.
So, I mean, I think there's, I don't know. I mean, I
understand what you're saying, but, I'm, just saying not the way I feel. I guess because that's the way it's been done all along, and, I guess I've been content with it, and I expect that, and at the end of the, and I don't know why this came about, but I remember, and Councilwoman Halbert, former Councilwoman Halbert had to bring that to my attention when I was reading an email the other day. when this lady, and sometimes you have to have thick skin, people. This lady got up and she called me every kind of drunk and broken down and fallen down drunk that ever lived in the earth, and that I should have been kicked off the council and I was an embarrassment to the city. Nobody said a word. I sat there and I listened. And then when she got through, I went in the back, shed a few tears, wiped them off, came and sat back down. Somebody else started talking. Another situation, Councilwoman Halbert, somebody called her a biatch in their conversation, and the chairman allowed everything to go on and on and on. But when somebody gets up to talk about our current chairman, he wasn't chairman then, that's when Myron started beating, no, you cannot do that. But it was okay to do it to me and Wanda. And so Wanda presented a resolution where I voted for it, Joe Brown, Wanda, and it failed. That we would like, the people should be able to say what they want to, but personal attacks, we don't need that. We don't warrant, it didn't warrant that. And so after it failed, we were just sitting around looking at each other. And I said, well, maybe the council chair will, next time it happens, hit the gavel again. But for us, he didn't. And so that just seemed somewhat unfair.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely on target. And let me just say, my advice has always been the chairman needs to cut that off.
My point
The
exactly.
chairman needs to cut it off.
Yes.
Period. I don't care who it is.
Right.
We ain't here to hear that crap.
To hear that, exactly.
And
The chairman just
let me tell you what the
might
law
cut it
is.
off.
The law is in Nashville. There was a big park issue. And they were like going to blows, and then all of a sudden the lawyer for one of these groups wanted to come forward, and they wouldn't let him talk. And so he sued, saying, "Oh, you didn't let me talk." So the Court of Appeals says, one, the Open Meeting Act allows and requires the public body to give notice of its meeting, time and place. It does not have to give notice of the agenda of its meeting, and it does not have to afford anyone the right to speak. They can only watch and listen to how you operate in the public domain. And then it says, where a government body allows the public to speak at its meeting, it may impose reasonable regulations in order to avoid disruption or delay in the performance of its duties. And then they cite to a case where the county had the right to set a reasonable limitation on the number of persons who address it, or otherwise the meeting would be chaotic. So our rules require the chairman to keep order. And I think that means to eliminate public attacks. That's not germane to the business. People have the right to do the Facebooking and blogging and do whatever they want to do. I'm even in favor of giving them a soapbox in front of the door. Let them go out there and shout to their heart's delight about who they don't like and what they don't like. But to bring that inside and delay the proceedings and to get into personal attacks, I think we need to stop it. Personal attacks.
Argument ad hominem. Attack the issue, not the person. Remember
That Latin?
argument ad hominem.
Before we go to, you got anything else, Janice?
That's it.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Martavius and then Berlin and Janice. I do understand what you're saying because I actually voted yes on that. And that chairman that you're talking about is now our current mayor. I don't mind putting it out there. So we will continue with the conversation. Martavius.
On the school board, we had a part of the agenda where we heard public comment on agenda items.
That's correct.
And I think we should do that before we vote on issues. And then we had a separate part of the agenda of where we heard comment on items that were not on the agenda.
Right.
So, I would advocate for us to